Let's quickly compare a PenFed Gold Visa card and PenFed Gold Rewards card. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka, and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to compare and contrast PenFed Gold Visa card and PenFed Gold Rewards card, okay? Let's start with the PenFed Gold Visa card. So when you think about PenFed Gold Visa card, I want you to think about a wonderfully low purchase APR. You're looking at 7.49% to 17.99%. This is really great, okay? And of course, to benefit from the 7.49% APR, you better have a great credit score. But the thing is that the PenFed Gold Visa card does not earn rewards. It does not. It has a fairly ubiquitous benefits like fraud monitoring and chip cards, but there is not much to motivate anyone with a choice of cards. And they have a promotional offer on balance transfer. So this is really good if you're looking for balance transfer, you're looking for a card that will allow you to save on balance transfers. This could be a great card. Let's talk about the pros and cons of this card. Pros, you basically have no annual fee, no foreign transaction fees. You have a promotional APR on balance transfers. Okay, and what about the cons here? No rewards, no fancy perks or benefits. The promotional APR offer only applies to balance transfers, not purchases. And you need to have a PenFed membership to apply. Of course, if you're a credit union, if you want to get a credit card from credit union, you need to apply. The cool thing is anyone can join. You don't need to have military affiliation, biological affiliation, or professional affiliation to qualify for membership. No matter where you live in the States, you can qualify for membership, not a problem. So when we think about overall here, the PenFed Gold Visa card requires neither annual fee nor foreign transaction fees. Okay, now the thing is that when we were analyzing this card, the fact that it has no rewards sort of brought down our enthusiasm a little bit. The card's welcome bonus is a $100 statement credit after spending $1,500 within the first 90 days of account opening. So this offers a fairly small rewards compared to many other cards' welcome bonuses, okay? And the card also charges no cash advance fees. So one thing you need to think about is that if you are someone who does not see any way to avoid carrying a balance on purchases and whose credit will facilitate being given an APR towards the card's low end, that's 7.49%. So the card will certainly make a better card than a higher APR card, okay? So this is really important. And one thing I want to say is that the promotional APR on balance transfers is actually available for new applicants. So they offer a 0% intro APR for 12 months on balance transfers, followed by a non-variable APR rate of 17.99%. Okay, so those are things you need to think about. Now, a 7.49% to 17.99% variable APR applies for purchases, and balance transfers incur a 3% fee per transaction. So when you think about this PenFed Gold Visa card, I want you to think about low purchase APR, no annual fee, no foreign transaction fees, no cash advance fees, and you have a promotional APR on balance transfers. Those are the keywords I want you to think about when you think about the card. Now, what about earning rewards? The card offers a welcome bonus, $100 statement credit after spending $1,500 within the first 90 days of account opening. That's it. There are no other rewards, okay? And the thing here is that one thing you need to think about the benefits in terms of 24/7 fraud monitoring. So activity is automatically screened for potential fraud. You have a high-tech security, okay? So you have chip cards and tokenized card numbers in mobile wallets. You have $0 fraud liability. So as a cardholder, you're not responsible for unauthorized purchases. Okay, so those are things you need to think about. And the question is this card for you? Well, it really depends. First of all, if you're looking for a card with rewards, you definitely do not want this PenFed Gold Visa card. No. If you're interested in, let's say you are interested in balance transfers and you have the credit score that goes with it, then this card could be good one. Could be a great one for you. Why? Because it has a 0% intro APR for 12 months on balance transfers. Obviously, it does have a 3% balance transfer fee, but again, it's totally up to you. But yeah, if you're looking for a card that has a relatively low APR also for purchases, this could be a great card because their APR for purchases oscillates from 7.49% to 17.99%. So you have a good delta here. You have a good delta between 8% and 18%. So if they give you 10% or 11%, that's decent, okay? But other than that, this card is pretty simple. Don't actually believe that the PenFed Gold Visa, the fact that you hear the word Gold Visa is, I would say, symbolizes a lot of perks. No, the card is a decent card, is a great card, but you should not expect more than that. One thing I also want to say here is that you can always ask for a limit increase after 6 months. So if you use this card responsibly, let's say you got a card with a $10,000 as credit limit and you're not satisfied with that $10,000, you can also always ask for a credit limit increase after 6 months. Let's say you can bump it up to 12,000 or 15,000 or 14,000. It's totally possible. Or you can even ask for an upgrade. That's totally possible too. Let me talk to you now about the PenFed Gold Rewards. So with the PenFed Gold Rewards, let's say you are looking for a relatively good card that has rewards or that has, I would say, decent rewards. This could be the card for you. Why? Because the card is designed for those with average or better credit. They charge no annual fees and they earn 3 points per dollar at restaurants, 2 points per dollar on gas, and 1 point per dollar on everything else. Okay, so those who will typically carry a balance will benefit from the card's lower than average APR range. Okay, so be aware that in order to apply for the card, you will have to join PenFed. Okay, but again, you don't have to have military affiliation to join. So the welcome bonus is 15,000 points plus a low intro APR. There's no annual fee, and the regular APR goes from 8.99% to 18% variable. And you need to have you can have fair credit, good credit, or excellent credit, not a problem. What are the pros and cons of this PenFed Gold Rewards card? The card has no annual fee, no foreign transaction fees, and those with average credit may qualify. And the cons, well, they have limited extra benefits, okay? And this is something you need to think about. And the credit union membership is required, but again, 99.99% of people can qualify for PenFed membership. But if you are in the very tiny category where you can't qualify, this can be a drawback for you. So the highlights here is that you earn 15,000 bonus points, which actually equates to $150 in value when you spend $1,000 within 90 days of account opening, plus 0.99% intro APR on purchases for 6 months. Okay, you earn 3x points at restaurants, 2x points on gas, and 1x points on everything else. This is really, really good. And we love the fact that when you think about PenFed in general, this Gold Rewards card is kind of cool, especially if you spend a lot of cash at restaurants and gas stations and you're looking to earn bonus rewards at those places while avoiding annual and foreign transaction fees. Okay, and we love the fact that there is no balance transfer fee. So there is no balance transfer fee for this card. Okay, and one thing I just want to say here is that the card's regular APR goes from 8.99% to 18%. But for you to get the 8 or 9%, you better have a good credit score. You better have excellent credit score. But if you have a fair or poor credit, you might be getting 14% or 15%. But it's all good anyway, because at least you have a foot in the door. They allow you to have a foot in the door, so that's wonderful. And the card offers a few valuable perks not often seen on no annual fee cards, including cell phone protection and secondary collision damage waiver coverage for eligible rental cars. Okay, really good. And I just want to continue the conversation around the PenFed Gold Rewards card. So when you think about this card, I want to give you a few keywords. I want you to have a few key terms to think about. No annual fee. You have a welcome bonus. You earn 3 points per dollar at restaurants, 2 points on gas, and 1 point on everything else. You have cell phone damage waiver, rental car damage protections, no foreign transaction fees, and membership in Navy Fed, okay? And let's talk about the rewards a little bit. So the rewards. So the Navy Fed Gold Rewards card earned 3 points per dollar. I said that before. 2 points on gas and 1 point on everything else. The cool thing here is that rewards do not expire as long as the account remains open, and there is no limit on the amount of rewards that may be earned. That's just fantastic. And rewards earned with the Gold Rewards card can be redeemed for cash, travel, merchandise, or gift cards. Okay, rewards points are worth 0.01 dollar per point. That's 1 cent, okay? And cash redemptions increments begin at $50 for 5,000 points. And travel options include redeeming for airline tickets, hotels, cruises, and tours and attractions. And the cool thing here is that there are a lot of benefits with this card. And let me give you the benefits here. You have other cards benefits. You have cell phone protection. You have a rental collision damage waiver, so you receive a secondary coverage when you rent an eligible car and pay for it with your card. You have $0 for liability, so cardholders are not responsible for unauthorized charges. You have FICO score access. This is something we really love with Navy Fed. You can view your credit score regularly at no extra cost. And you have basic Visa or MasterCard benefits, because this something I should have told you is that the Navy Fed Gold Rewards card comes in 2 versions. You can have the MasterCard version or the Visa version, okay? And so you'll get either basic Visa benefits or basic MasterCard benefits, depending on which version of the card you are approved for. So this is really what it is. And one thing I also want to say is that there's no cash advance fee if you perform the transaction at a Navy Fed branch or ATM. Otherwise, 50 cents per domestic transaction or $1 per foreign transaction applies, okay? And one thing I also want to say before closing here is that you can request a credit limit increase with the Gold Rewards card after 6 months, okay? And you can try after 3 months if you have been using the card responsibly and you have a strong relationship with Navy Fed. However, it's just better to increase your chances for a limit increase request to go through if you do it after 6 months. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Sorty Q Show. In today's conversation, we are comparing and contrasting PenFed Gold Visa and Navy Fed Gold Rewards. And before we actually, I want to give you more information about alternatives. Okay, you have alternatives credit cards out there that are doing something better or worse than those 2 cards. Let's first understand how the PenFed Gold Visa stacks up. So PenFed Gold Visa card versus the US Bank Visa Platinum card. So for those looking for a longer introductory APR on balance transfers, the US Bank Visa Platinum offers a 0% intro APR on purchases and balance transfers for 20 billing cycles. Did you get that? 20 billing cycles, followed by a regular variable APR that goes from 14.49% to 24.49%. So the card comes with no annual fee and the added perk of cell phone damage protection. So balance transfer fees are the same. So the US Bank Platinum Visa does have foreign transaction fees, cash advance fees that the PenFed Gold Visa does not. Okay. What about the PenFed Gold Visa versus the Citi Double Cash card? Now, the PenFed Gold Visa might have gold in the title, but the Citi Double Cash is often referred to as a gold standard for a reason. The card offers a 2%, think about it, a 2% cashback on all purchases. That's 1% cashback when purchases are made and another 1% when they're paid off. So the Citi Double Cash card also offers a 0% intro APR on balance transfers for 18 months. So after that, you have the standard variable APR that goes from $13.99 to $23.99% based on creditworthiness. There's also an intro balance transfer fee of either $5 or 3% of the amount of each transfer, whichever is greater, if you have to complete the transaction within the first 4 months of account opening. So after that, the fee will be 5% of each transfer, minimum $5. Okay, so for those whose credit allows, the Citi Double Cash wins the matchup hands down. So when we talk about PenFed Gold Visa versus US Bank Visa Platinum, the US Bank Visa Platinum is way better. When we talk about the PenFed Gold Visa versus the Citi Double Cash card, the Citi Double Cash card wins hands down. What about the PenFed Gold Visa card versus the Capital One Quicksilver One Cash Rewards credit card? So Advertised as a credit card for fair credit, the Capital One Quicksilver One requires a $39 annual fee, but it earns an unlimited 1.5% cashback. So most everything the Capital One card offers is the opposite of the PenFed card. So the PenFed card has no annual fee and no rewards. The Capital One card has no introductory APR on balance transfers. The PenFed card has a transfer fee, but the Capital One card does not. So the Capital One card has cash advance fees, but the PenFed does not. Okay, so because these two cards are so different, which is the right card for any customer will, of course, depend entirely on circumstances. Okay, one important note though, folks, this is important. The Capital One Quicksilver One has a 26.99% variable APR on purchases and balance transfers. So if you don't carry a balance, this could be good. If not, you definitely want to go with the PenFed Gold Visa. So for this one, we would say that the victory goes back to the PenFed Gold Visa card. Now I want to talk about how the NavyFed Gold Rewards stacks up. So let's say, let's do what NavyFed Gold Rewards credit card versus Citi Double Cash card, okay? So the Citi Double Cash card blows a hole in the side of the NavyFed Gold Rewards ship in terms of cashback rewards. Because if you think about it, this Citi Double Cash card earns a 2% cashback on all purchases, and this rate is likely to out-earn all but the most restaurant-heavy spenders when compared to the NavyFed Gold Rewards earn rate. And the Citi Double Cash card also comes with an intro APR offer. You have 0% intro APR on balance transfers for 18 months. Okay, 18 months. But after that, the standard variable APR will be 13.99% to 23.99% based on credit worthiness. So those are things you need to think about. So when we think about NavyFed Gold Rewards versus Citi Double Cash card, the victory goes back to a Citi Double Cash card, hands down. What about NavyFed Gold Rewards credit card versus NavyFed Cash Rewards credit card? Another card that we have reviewed on another show. So earning up to 1.75% cashback on all purchases, direct deposit enrollment required. 1.5% cashback earned otherwise. The NavyFed Cash Rewards card offers similar benefits but a flat rate reward structure. So applicants for one or both of these credit cards should carefully examine their spending patterns to determine which card might yield better returns. So this is something you need to think about, okay? So many of the two cards' other attributes are the same, including a lack of an annual fee, foreign transaction fee, cash advance fee, or balance transfer fee. But you want to pay attention to the fine print. So if you want to use your rewards for something other than straight cashback, only the Gold Rewards card has the option. Let's talk about NavyFed Gold Rewards card versus Chase Freedom Flex. So with an earn rate of 5% cashback on up to $1,500 in categories that rotate quarterly. Okay, so this requires activation. 5% on travel purchase through Chase Ultimate Rewards, 3% on dining in drugstores, and 1% on all other purchases. The Chase Freedom Flex takes the win out of the Gold Rewards sales because they have fantastic offers. Okay, the Chase Freedom Flex also comes with a nice intro offer. In terms of APR, you have 0% intro APR for 15 months from account opening on purchases and balance transfers. Then you have a variable APR of 14.99 to 23.74% that applies. And you have an intro balance transfer fee of either $5 or 3% of the amount of each transfer, whichever is greater, in the first 60 days. And after that, it's either $5 or 5% of the amount of each transfer, whichever is greater. Okay, so when we talk about NavyFed Gold Rewards versus Chase Freedom Flex, Chase Freedom Flex wins hands down. So folks, you have seen that basically when we compare those two credit cards with other credit cards, they both lost. Okay, they both lost. And now let's compare themselves. Let's make a decision. So the PenFed Gold Visa card versus the NavyFed Gold Rewards. Which one to pick? Well, it really depends on a constellation of things. Which one should you pick depends on your credit score. What is your FICO right now? Do you have excellent credit? Do you have a good credit? Do you have decent credit? Do you have average credit? Talk to me about your credit score. What is your MPR with either institution? Are you a NavyFed loyalist? Are you a PenFed aficionado? Talk to me about that. Where do you currently have your accounts? Do you have accounts with both of them? Where do you park most of your cash? Where do you have your direct deposit? Okay. And so when we talk about MPR, we are speaking about multi-product relationship. Okay. What other cards you have with the same institution? So when we talk about the Navy Fed or the PenFed Gold Visa card, do you have other credit cards with either institution? Those are really important. So those elements should be part of the brainstorming phase. Okay, what is your family situation? Are you do you apply? Do you co-apply for this card, or do you want to apply by yourself? It's important because when we talk about family situation, we are speaking about budget. We're speaking about DTI. We're speaking about your expenses. Okay, and what is your CUR? What is your credit utilization ratio? This is important also in terms of, for instance, we know for based on our research that PenFed is stricter. PenFed is more stringent when it comes to DTI and CUR than Navy Fed is. Okay, so if you have, let's say you have a very low CUR and very low DTI, you might want to think about PenFed because they will give you the best perks. And speaking about DTI, what is your debt to income ratio right now? Are you in the 30s, or are you in the 20s, or are you in the 40s? What is your DTI? DTI plays an important role, okay? And let's talk about loans and revolving lines of credit. So what I'm trying to tell you is before you make a decision about which card really wins, you better have a clear idea of your assets and your liabilities, okay? Your loans, your revolving lines of credit, and last but not the least, the rewards that you seek. So, for instance, the PenFed Gold Visa card has no rewards, basically none, whereas the Navy Fed Gold Rewards does have some rewards. So, if you're seeking rewards, the PenFed Gold Visa is definitely not for you. All right, folks. After evaluating these two credit cards, our pick is the Navy Fed Gold Rewards card. We believe that the Navy Fed Gold Rewards card offers more benefits than the PenFed Gold Visa does. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.